where rodeo meets the road. Your go-to radio show for all things rodeo. On each episode, the top personalities from the PRCA and PBR share their victories, setbacks, and inside stories from the season. Now, here's your hosts, Ken and Hannah.
Man, 2025, Happy New Year to everybody. Hannah didn't answer the bell this morning. I don't know what happened, but it's New Year's Day. Our guest today, 10-time barrelman, Justin Rumford. Justin, thanks for being on the show with me today.
Happy New Year. It's good to be alive.
Yeah, good to be alive. You know, we were just talking about, New Year's Day, and I was in bed fairly early. Quick story, Justin, is that, I got some smaller kids. They're 9, 8, 6, and 5. And my wife gradually moves the clock forward all day long. And by 8 o'clock, it's midnight. And I was out.
That's a good move right there. That's
great move. I was out shooting a barrel race yesterday, and I was on my way home. She goes, "Well, you better hurry up. It's almost midnight." I was like, "It's almost midnight. That's awesome." So, yeah, it was great, and I don't know, it's a mental game because, it's like, it's 12:30, guys. It's late. You guys got to go to bed. And they're like, "Yeah, I'm so tired. I'm so tired." There was no horsing around. They were out. So maybe we could give them like 16-hour days and just move that clock ahead all the time,
I'm with you.
Dude, 2025, 2024 just went by way too quick, it seemed like. It seems like, we were just getting ready to start Odessa, Denver, Texas swing, and here we are again. That merry-go-round keeps on going round and round. You're out in Odessa. Tell us about Odessa coming up.
Well, we start here tomorrow, which is, pretty soon in the year, it seems like. But to start on January 2nd. But, if you look at everything, right after the NFR, the next week was the Chase Hawks, Rough Stock Rodeo in Billings. And then, last night was the Buck and Ball in Gillette. And so, I mean, there's really no time off. But Odessa's a really cool rodeo. I like this rodeo. This is one of the very first rodeos I got when I first started clowning, like my first of my winter rodeos, and I've been very fortunate to get to work, all the big winter rodeos, but this was the first one I booked in 2013. Yeah. And so I wasn't here for 10 years, and then so I'm here this year. I was here last year, and I'm 2 on, and then I'm moving on. But Odessa's a cool rodeo. This is rodeo country. People get it. They like it. We got Beanie Butler here. We got the Butler & Son Rodeo Company. We got Dusty Tuckness, 10-time Bullfighter of the Year. Nate Justice, 6-time NFR. We got, Benji Bentley, and we got Randy Corley, Hall of Famer. So our whole crew is just, we get to work together a lot, and it's just fun. It's just easy. It's just what rodeoing should be, honestly.
Yeah. And, rodeo, like you said, is just full time. We're into the winter, Odessa, we have the Texas swing, Denver, Fort Worth, San Angelo, Houston, San Antonio, and then, Reno, the summer run, Cheyenne, Deadwood, Caldwell. And then we go into the Governor's Cup, and then the next thing you know, we're back in Vegas. It's just, and there's so much rodeo, and the money is so good out there, and it just seems like it gets better and better.
Yeah, they've done a lot. I mean, you look at rodeo as a whole, not just in the PRCA, but the IPRA, the IFR, they're adding an additional $200,000. And with the WCRA, what they've done, where you can nominate these rodeos, and Rodeo Corpus Christi, which is a WCRA rodeo, that's going to pay $17,500 to win. So many places, all these extreme bulls. You look at the year-end money won in the PRCA. I found a old media guide from the other day, and you look what back in the day, what 15th paid in the bareback ride, and 15th place like in 15 years ago was like $62,000.
Yeah.
The guy that won it had 104, and this year it was 364,000. So
It's crazy.
I mean, it's for the contestants, it's great, but it's a lot of it too is that these rodeos are figuring out how to entertain.
Yeah.
Like if you go to a Major League Baseball, you go to Major League Football, you're coming there to watch the football, but you also want the ambiance, and so it's pretty neat to be a part of a lot of these rodeos. I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, and you've been doing it a few years now. And a quick story is, like I said, I was out shooting a barrel race yesterday, and I hadn't been to this pen in maybe 10 years, probably 8 years, something like that. And it was a youth rodeo back then, and Riley Webb was calf roping back then. He was doing a lot of different things, goat tying. He was what, 10 maybe, I don't know what it was, but showed up there, and it was like, you ever see that movie Hot Tub Time Machine with
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's what I felt like. I just fell into that hot tub, and I showed up, and it was people I hadn't seen in forever, and they all looked old, and I was like, I hope I don't feel, or I don't know if I do look like that too. I wonder if they said, man, Ken, you look old. But it was weird, but it was good to see people I hadn't seen in forever. You ever get that hot tub time machine effect?
All the time. I refer it back to a couple things when I'm in them same situations. It's like the Bon Jovi song says, it's all the same, only the names have changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is number one. Number two is the one I always think about is Hotel California. And this is what we're living in
Yeah.
in the rodeo business, because you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
That's right.
Oh,
I hear you. I hear you.
I get it, dude. I see that. I see that now, with my kids junior rodeoing and whatnot. And you go back, and a lot of the guys that I rodeoed with in high school, they're there with their kids, and it's a different world, but it's like I said, we're all there still living in it.
I refuse to get any older. I was like, I can't be like that. But the body in the morning says, no, you're getting older, man. Your back hurts, my knees hurt. And I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous.
Well, you need to follow the Casey Field rule of aging.
How's that?
You're 30 until you're 40. You're 40 until you're 50.
Right. No, exactly, man. And, like going back to Riley Webb, what a season he's had. 2 back-to-back seasons. I mean, when I saw him back then roping as a kid in youth rodeo, I was like, man, this guy's going to be great. And he proved it this year, back-to-back champ, calf roping. How many times will he win a buckle in Vegas?
Well, here's my thought. There's only a few spots open a year to the NFR, the tight-on roping now, because with Riley and Shad and Ty Harris and Joel and that whole group, they're taking 8 spots. I mean, pretty much the first of the year. So everybody's 5 to 7. But what makes Riley so cool is not just how talented he is, but he's a genuinely good guy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, he's a superhuman person. He is so personable and talkative, and you don't see him throw fits. You don't see him get mad. I mean, that dude, he's a winner. Yeah. Like, he motivates me to be a better person. So I'm a pretty big fan of his.
Yeah.
And, being obviously a tremendous athlete doesn't hurt anything either. But like I said, he's cool at these rodeos. We always bump into each other rodeoing full time, and he's always the first one. Hey man, how's it going? Good to see you. Everything good? Like, how are you so happy all the time?
Yeah, exactly. But not just calf roping, all the events, they're so deep, from breakaway, barrels, saddle bronc, all of them, they just go so deep, and it's so competitive out there. And these new athletes coming up, from rookies or out of college, high school, they're coming in to win it. And it's like, man, rodeo's looking better and better with this new blood coming in.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You look at youth rodeos, you look at the different things the PRCA has done with the development camps for these kids, and I mean, just overall, it's changed so much. And I've had numerous conversations with different people about this. If you look at the evolution of it, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, a lot of rodeo people, most of them were, pretty rural background, come from the farm, come from the ranch. They rodeoed on the side to make a little money and have some fun. But over the time, it's evolved out of that, where a lot of these guys that are competing, they're not farmers, they're not ranching. They grew up in the rodeo deal, but this is their sport.
Yeah.
They're not trying to rope on the weekends and go home and have a job. The guys going are going, and you have to about draw a line in the sand and go all in, because if you look at brand new pickup now, it costs you $90,000. Living quarters trailer, you're at $200,000.
It's crazy.
A couple good horses, you're at another $1,000. So you take off and want to go rodeo at the first of the year, you're about $450,000 deep.
Yeah.
And so, you can't downplay this as, it's just a rodeo. Like, these guys have the attitude that this is what we're going to do. And I mean, you about got to, because financially it's ridiculous what it just cost,
Yeah.
Even for a rodeo clown, just me last year, I spent $16,000 in diesel.
No. Yeah. Thank you, Biden,
And that's going from, that's one rodeo a week. I'm not hitting 3 or 4 like the contestants, so God bless them. But, these contestants are coming in. They have, back if you watch the old bareback riding and the old bronc riding days, those guys were built a lot different, where these guys nowadays, they have trainers and they have nutritionists, and, they're hitting cryo beds, and they're using the game readies. And so I think that it's great what's happening right now. It's a neat time to be a part of rodeo.
Yeah. $16,000 in fuel throughout the year. How many rodeos do you get to each year there, Justin?
Well, that number is kind of hard to explain, because if you look at my winters, where, I've worked Denver, San Antonio, Rapid City, San Angelo, that's 4 or 5 rodeos, but each one of those rodeos is about 20 to 26 performances.
Right.
So, I'd say around 40